Good morning, everybody. Today we have an 02 Jeep Liberty. The problem with this one is that when you turn the heater to hot, it doesn't come out hot, it comes out cold. This vehicle already flushed the heater core, and both hoses going into the heater core inside here are hot, and it's flush and it's clean, so it's not like I'm having suspicion of a clogged heater core. I'm suspecting that the actuator, the one just like the blend door actuator, right, the one that does the changes from cold to hot, is our problem. But that thing is buried under the dash, so I'm going to take you along and see how I get to it. It's going to be a pain. A lot of this has to come apart, and we don't know, we never done this job, so we're gonna go and try to figure it out. So come with me, keep watching. First thing we're gonna do is remove the glove box. It has these little clips here on the side. Press them both in at the same time and it comes out. If I'm not mistaken, you gotta slide it to the side like this. Yep, and it comes right out. Put that to the side. And then we're going to probably remove some of this trim and maybe remove this part. Maybe we have to remove this. Just gotta remove a whole bunch of things because that thing is buried on top of this. This is the HVAC system. The whole box is buried on top of there somewhere. All right, guys, so the next step is to remove this trim, and I'm trying to use a trim tool, but I noticed that it has screws down here. It has two. I already took one out, so I'm gonna take that one out and hopefully take it out, and maybe it exposes more screws for the top part. Right, guys, all I did was pull it out of the way. After removing the screws, it has clips, come right out. Put that to the side somewhere. We'll continue now. We see screws for this part. It has 1, 2, 3, and it has these little ones. I don't know if I have to take those off, but we'll see. Okay, guys, so I got all the screws out, but I can move it. But it seems like maybe that top part, this one, has to come off. This part, I'm gonna try to remove this. Maybe it exposes more screws because this thing is moving, as you can see, but I can't take it off. All right, I got it to where it's popping out, but not all the way. I'm suspecting now this trim has to come out in order to remove the corner, and that would allow me to remove it completely. But so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this trim. So I'm gonna pop these things out. That exposes the bolts, screws in there. Same thing with this side right here. I'm gonna get this off. Hopefully that comes off. All right, guys, I removed the side trim, and now, because that tab was underneath, now it allows me to pop it up, hopefully. So these screws are Torx, and that one was a T20. The other ones, the ones I took off of here, are all hex head, 7mm, the small ones, and the bigger ones are 10mm. So we're gonna move on, trying to take this trim out. All right, guys, correction. The socket that you're gonna need is not, it wasn't T20, it was T25. Because I noticed it was a little loose on the other trim right there. And I looked at the screw and realized that, yeah, the one, the T20 works, but this one is the right side, the T25. So anyway, guys, I got the trim out. That exposes more bolts. I think I gotta take those off in order to remove this. Here's the trim. It comes right out. The edges is what was holding it. That one and the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting this thing off, and then I'll show you guys how it goes. Once you remove the top screws, the whole cover comes out. You also got to get that one in the corner underneath this black piece. get that one. That one is again a 7mm. These are 10. Once you get it out, the cover comes right out. Now we got the airbag exposed. We have to unplug that. Be careful with this kind of stuff. Unplug it and unscrew it. Got 2 here and 2 here, and the plug. And that's continue to expose further into the dash where we got to get. Guys, before we continue with the airbag removal, I came here and disconnected the negative off the battery. I just want to make sure it has no power or any power going to it, right? Because I don't want that thing to short out and somehow smack me in the face. So I would advise you to do the same. I'm gonna wait a few minutes and then I'm gonna go ahead and remove it. Okay guys, so I removed the 2 screws on this side, and I was trying to remove it, but I needed to unplug it. It has a tricky plug where this piece right here, you have to move it up. But in order to move it up, it's tricky. The other end of the red spot, the red clip on the other side, you have to, has like a little lever in the center of it. You have to move it that way as you're prying on this side, prying up with it, okay? Once you get it unlocked, then you can squeeze and then pull this side and it comes out. But then that plug is attached to that bracket in the back, which has 2 big screws of 13mm heads and 4 little screws of the 7mm. So that's undone. So hopefully now it comes out. I removed it because I suspect that those 2 big screws got to come off anyway to be able to remove the whole dash, pull the dash this way. But anyway, I need both hands, so I'm gonna get this done. There it is, guys. It came right out. That's how it looked. That thing down there, that black square looking piece, that's the actuator I'm trying to get to, but you see it's buried. This whole dash has to be pulled out, at least this side, to see if maybe I can go behind it and work on it. So now I need to figure out what's my next step. I removed the bottom panel. It has 2 little screws of 7mm, one here and one here, to expose maybe the side of it. I gotta see if maybe there's some screws on the side of the dash, maybe in the middle. I think that radio has to come off, the whole panel, to expose some bolts are underneath. So I removed the kick panel on the side here to expose some of these bolts. I don't know if you can see here, this one. This is basically just pulling it. You have to pop this one out, up, to allow this one to come out. Just pop it out and work it out of the way. Okay guys, I'm on the driver's side and there's 2 more screws in the back of the dash that I have to remove, those 2. But then in order to get to those, I gotta remove this. And that has a couple of screws on the top, and it has screws in the bottom here. 2 here and 2 here. Obviously you pull the trim out to expose the bolts. Same thing on the other side. That goes right there. Pull that out of the way. Pops right out along with this one. 7mm bolts, and that should make this part come out. So let's work it. And there you have it, guys. It came right out. I struggled a little bit with this corner right here. You gotta move that black piece out of the way and work it around it. It is out. Now I have a better opening to get at these. Guys, I removed the gauge cluster because my socket went underneath, and I also wanted to see if there was any screws underneath. This is the way it looks. You don't have to take it off. I did. Maybe you do have to, I don't know yet, but I took it off. Socket went somewhere in there with the extension. I gotta get it. Anyway, I also wanted to see if there was any screws holding the dash on this side, because like I said, we have to pull the dash out more on that end than this end, but I'm sure if it has bolts on this end, it's not gonna move. So 4 screws, guys, 2 little ones on the top, two little ones, one on each side, and the plug. Squeeze and pull. All right, guys, I'm working on the passenger side again on this screw right here to see if maybe that gives me some kind of wiggle room here and allows me to bring this out so that I can maybe put my hand underneath and get to that. So that's what I'm working on, guys. 10 millimeter. I'll let you know what it does. Well, that gave me a little bit of more wiggle. I don't know what's holding it in place. Another thing that I didn't tell you guys, so I popped this off, unplugged a few wires going to it, well, like one or two. Just trying to get to those studs right there. Remove the nuts, but I think I have to remove this whole center console. I also remove this piece right here, pops right out. But this whole thing, I'm gonna remove this whole thing, center console. And I think the way you go in here, remove the cubby hole insert, and there's gonna be screws underneath. And maybe you have to unplug some of these controls. And then move that out of the way. I don't know, man. We'll keep on working forward. Keep on moving forward. We'll get it. Before going into removing the center console, I decided to try. There's a screw in there, and there were a couple of screws. One here, one there. Also remove the whole panel here. Unplug this. It's a pain in the ass. This thing's a pain in the ass, but look at the way this is the way it looks when you take it off. So you got to work on these tabs. The inside of them, you got to unplug, unclip them. They're all squeeze and pull type, but because they've been there forever, they're hard. So you got to work them. Anyway, so one screw here, one screw here, one screw in the center. That gave me more wiggle. Now I can pull it more, right? But I'm still not able to have enough room to get underneath and have access to that part. So let's continue. Okay, working on the center console here, guys. I removed the two screws of the cubby hole, which is over there. I removed the top off. Didn't have to do that. So I went inside. I had two screws on the bottom. Removed that. That allowed this to move. Removed the panel for the rear window controls. That's hanging there. I gotta unplug it. Now I'm working on here. Yeah. Gonna go ahead and remove the lock. Same locking mechanism. That switch heavy here, so you have to put pressure here. Move that way, and then squeeze and pull. Yeah, that's how you unlock that. I had a screw here. Yeah, that's so far how it is. It's looking pretty loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, and I think I'm gonna be able to lift it up and start moving it back. That's what I'm trying to do. This is the back panel, guys. This is the way the switch is. Well, not this way. It's located like this, and the plug goes underneath it. But the locking tab for the plug is it's in the back, right? It's in the back side, so you couldn't squeeze it. So you have to pry on this and remove it. It has this locking tabs. Pry it and you remove it completely, then you can unplug it. Pretty simple. And then you just put it back in. And when you gotta plug it in, I don't think you have to remove it and do all that. But that's for the removal process. All right, center console's out completely. Again, you have to work it. This doesn't just come out. You gotta pull back, pull up, trying to work it out this way, right? Towards the front of the car. Around this, and around this. And then there it is, it's out. And that exposes a whole bunch of junk that been collected throughout the years. It's nasty. All right, so what I'm trying to do now is get to the bracket. Bracket that I removed the two nuts out of it. There's just a bolt there, and there's another one underneath here. So hopefully when I remove that, maybe that allows the dash to come out forward more, or towards me more. We'll see. All right, guys, after all that, it didn't really give me enough room. Well, it didn't wiggle any more further out. So I'm going to continue working on here, see what else I can find that would allow me to pull the dash out more. Man, I'm sure people that know how to do this are, if they watch this video, are like, what the hell is this guy doing? But I'm just doing it without any instructions or anything. So that's the reason why I'm second guessing and trying stuff. But whatever. If you're like me, at least you'll be able to watch this video and step by step do what I did, and maybe avoid certain things that I did that weren't necessary. So far, I think everything that I've done is necessary. So let's continue. Okay, fellas, I think I got it. So I wasn't getting enough space or movement on that side where I'm trying to get to the actuator. So I got underneath here and I found these two 10mm head bolts. They're right underneath here. Steering wheel column. And there, if you see this big bolt right here, it's straight up there. That's where they sit. One sit on this side and the other one's gonna be, well, you're gonna have to find this. Again, look for that bolt on the other side. It's gonna be straight up. They're just two bolts, and I think that gave me enough movement. That's what was stuck here, because I even took this panel right here on the side, and I took the bolt off of the bracket, this guy right here, and still I didn't have enough movement. But now that I got those two out, it seems like I got, oh yeah, just coming out. I'm gonna go on the other side and I'll show you guys if I have enough, but it definitely moved a lot more. Guys, I have access to the actuator now, and I'm gonna let you know what else I have to do. So the steering column doesn't need to be dropped, but these bolts right here, they're holding the steering column, that one and the other one, I loosened them up to where the bolt wasn't sticking out, okay? Because the bolt was hitting right there and not allowing it to come out further. So I did that. They're not all the way out, they're loose as far as I could go to have clearance. 13mm heads. And then going back to the other side, I had to remove the wires going to the heater motor. This wire right here. And I remove the bolts to the resistor and took the resistor out. You can unplug it if you want it. This clip broke on me, so I didn't want to mess with it. So I just took it out. These are the bolts, the two screws for it. And it took, what is the 8mm socket. I got a piece of wood propping this thing, so I was able to pull it back out more and up, and I have access to the actuator, which is on top of the box. Now I can get to the screws and take it out. Should be easy, guys. This is the actuator that I bought online. That's the number. I don't remember if I got it through eBay or Amazon. That was a long time ago, but that's the way it looks. I got 3 bolts holding it, a plug, and that's the other side. That's what moves the blend door. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove the one inside the dash, change this over, and hopefully this works. Guys, the Jeep was all put back together and I still have the same problem, so I'm frustrated. It wasn't the actuator, and like I said at the beginning of the video, the lines going to the heater core, both are hot, extremely hot. You would think that you would get some kind of heat in it, but I have no change when I switch the button from cold to hot. So now I'm thinking that it's the control button, or maybe a control module. I don't know. But anyway, guys, if you learned something from this video, please like, subscribe, it's free. I'll catch you in the next video. Maybe I'll make another video of what I ended up doing to fix the heater problem, because I really got to fix that. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.